building the new meta world and play-to-earn economy.
For that, we've got Amrita Sethi, who's going to be the panel moderator. Maciej Stachowiak from Stonks, Blake Zibara from Cheddar and Pavel Fedorov, CBDO of Attarius.
Hi guys, welcome and congratulations for surviving yet. What, is it your third or fourth conference now in the afternoon? We're talking about a topic that's close to my heart, which is called the metaverse. And depending on how you define it, it's very important because it is one of the most technically dense topics in the world when you're creating an alternate reality and a literal virtual multi-dimensional space and different experiences for people to actually connect, whether that's financially, digitally, visually, or even binarily, right? And so please welcome my panelists. I'm going to ask you to please introduce yourselves.
Perfect. Hi, everyone. My name's Amrita Sethi. I've got a fan club over there. So, and I'm the first NFT artist in Dubai, the UAE. And I've got lots to talk about the metaverse or the meta reversed, but I'll talk about that in a bit.
Hello. Thank you, New Tribe, for inviting me. I'm Pavel Fedorov, CBDO of Attarius Network. We're doing an ecosystem for blockchain gaming. We are Abu Dhabi based. Any gaming studio, come to us. Thanks.
Hi guys, my name's Blake Zibara. I'm the CEO of Cheddar Games. We're building a PvP competitive gaming platform, aggregating third-party developer games, as well as building our own, and integrating seamless token rewards to target non-crypto natives, which represent the majority of the mobile gamer market.
Hello everybody, grateful to be here. My name is Matt Panak, I'm the CMO of Insert Stonks. We're a Web3 gaming infrastructure company. We're building an API platform and self-service building blocks for game developers to deploy their games faster and cheaper without any blockchain coding. Happy to be here.
Thank you all for your really great work. You know, some of the some challenges that I encounter when I'm building, right, is that I have a high aim, right? I want to include financial inclusion. I want to have game to earn, right? And I want people to be able to think in different ways, but unless it's visually beautiful, unless it works, unless it has the right infrastructure to connect all those things, and unless it has really interesting games that people can play together, it's not going to work. Like for instance, I said, you know, I want to tokenize the rainforest, and I want to gamify conservation. And the VC I was speaking to was saying, that's really nice, Susan, but no kid is going to play that. No one wants to play that game, right? And so how would you help me solve that problem?
Okay, I can just talk from like an artistic perspective. And I think the way I try to solve the problem, especially with kind of getting people to interact with the metaverse, is to bring the metaverse back to the real world. It's a bit of a funny, so I call it the meta reversed. So obviously we know the metaverse is all about taking the physical to the digital. I recently I've created the world's first physically fractionalized augmented reality NFT sculpture. And what does that mean? That means that I've gone and taken a physical aspect, physically fractionalized it, joined it with NFTs, and brought it back from the physical to the digital, but back to the digital. So if you go to Decentraland now, you can actually see that sculpture. So it's pretty cool because like in the metaverse, you can interact with it. I've got an augmented reality hoodie that your avatar can wear. And so I think the way to solve it a little bit, or the way I'm trying to solve it, is how can we get people to interact in the metaverse by first attracting them in the physical world, then drawing them in. And then that interplay is that what then gets them interested.
Interesting. Pavel, what are you building?
We're not building, we are helping to build blockchain games. And as blockchain games, it's part of a matrix of metaverse, some kind of element, a big element, and we're thinking that our main aim is, and our clients to get a very simple, fast, and comfortable onboarding of gamers, of classical gamers, because there are more than 1 billion Win's Planet classical gamers. Blockchain gamers, I think, is just dozens, thousands. And we looking at every day how we can solve it, how we can fix it, and help blockchain gaming to attract more people, even from classical gaming.
Well, I mean, I think that's something that you guys could speak to, right? How do we incentivize gamers, and how do we incentivize users, right? In a way that makes sense, that everybody makes money. I've always said that Web 2.0 means you build something, and I build something to make money from it, right? Web 3.0 is I build something that anybody with a really good idea, really good graphics and skills can come on board and make money for themselves, right?
What was the question?
So how do you incentivize gamers and users in a way with substance that we build something beautiful?
I think it comes down to finding a product that has a good product market fit, and then matching that with a group or an audience or a target audience that essentially needs that or wants that. And so how to incentivize those people is figuring out what is their eager desire. My background's marketing, so I understand how to really do deep dive into what people want. And so to incentivize, I believe, gamers and users, I think if you're talking about both, a good way to do it would be to give them something that they both would use that would somehow interact with one another, right? So for example, with the platform we're building, to incentivize users in general, you would figure out, okay, are they gamers? Are they people that enjoy NFTs? Are they people that just enjoy walking around the metaverse? And then bringing all those things together and incentivizing people in different ways through, NFT drops or token rewards, or even just bringing people gameplay that they really enjoy and rewarding them for doing so. Like even a share to earn model that we're looking at doing. I feel like that's a way to incentivize everyone. It's so easy these days to bring people together by allowing them to invite their friends and families into one place. So yeah, that's probably how I do it.
Yeah, so one of the problems with the blockchain gaming is that everyone working on the games that have already been released have sort of landed into this bubble, right? It seems like the crypto game owners are marketing to other sort of crypto gamers that are in the same space, and we have to remember that the gaming ultimately is about entertainment, right? So for years up to date, nobody had to pay gamers to play games, right? So really the way to incentivize everybody is to incentivize the mass adoption of the gaming is to create games that are actually playable, that sort of create this balance between competition and cooperation, and just like pull people in because they're awesome, right? And people start playing those games. I think there's a lot of sort of barriers to entry for the gamers to be able to play most of the current games. So by creating a sort of free-to-play models so that people can enter the game, they don't even have to register for any wallets. They start playing, they get hooked. Then over time they interact with other users who start introducing them to the concepts. Hey, you can enter those next levels through which you can actually make money. So you've already got better because they've been training on the free-to-play version. They got better. They want to keep playing. They want to interact with more users. So they get into the sort of play-to-earn versions of the game, right? Or the next levels, or sort of those very closed communities that, because they're closed and because you need to sort of buy an NFT to enter, you're going to be much more inclined to do that. But another thing when it comes to incentivization is, blockchain is all about decentralization of a lot of decisions, right? And I feel that the best way to make games that are going to pull people in is by actually handing over the power over creating of those games to the people who do it best, which is traditional gaming studios and those game developers who know how to do this, right? And that's why the solution that we're building is aimed at actually simplifying all the blockchain infrastructure for the typical gaming studios, so that they don't need to invest into building all the same things, wallets, marketplaces, and things like that. They can just focus on what they are best at, which is creating awesome experiences, and gamified worlds, and and they don't need to worry about the blockchain infrastructure of that. So I think that's how you bring the incentives and the mass adoption to the market.
Thank you for that. And I'm going to posit all of those a question to all of you, because this is fascinating to me, right? I mean, I think my knowledge of games stopped at Mario Brothers 3. Welcome. I'm so sorry that we had to start without you. Can you please introduce yourself and tell me what you do in terms of gaming and the metaverse?
Yes, thank you everyone for having me. Sorry for the delay. Got misinformed. So my name is Jimmy Chan, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of a project called All Esports. We actually have a booth over here, so if you guys want to come visit us, feel free. Essentially, we're bringing the horse racing industry into the metaverse itself. So beyond just racing, we have elements of virtual land ownership, people being able to build stables on the land, as well as actually owning percentage shares of race courses themselves. Okay? So all in all, that's a little bit about our project. Thank you.
I have a guy that I want to introduce you to, because he's in Dubai and he's building the Falcon Racing NFT and metaverse. Maybe you guys can cluster together. Which brings me to my next question, right? I think a lot of people have trouble wrapping their heads around the metaverse and even meta programming. Why do we need all these different games and these different metaverses? Why can't I play a cluster of games using the same utility token? And what do you see in terms of interconnectivity in those experiences? Why don't we start with you?
Yeah, no, I'd love to answer that question. So just to reiterate it, it's that why are we using different types of tokens as opposed to just having one overall metaverse in total? Is that okay? Wonderful. So what I would say is that in every metaverse project, there's different utility as well as governance abilities for these tokens itself, right? So depending on the game design. So for example, with my project, we're designing our tokens to have specific utility within a crypto economy that we're creating.
No. But you can also create pairs, right? So that there's liquidity and transfer. So if you have a gaming token and I recognize you as a partner and you have a game, there's no reason why I can't create a pairing of those tokens that are swappable.
That's right. So I do think that eventually that type of mechanism will be the future of it, right? And having that ability more. So even right now we're listed on a DEX where it's very easy to swap, right? Uniswap, PancakeSwap. I would say maybe I'm not understanding the question.
Even if you do swap, it's a 4-point process unless we build something that we create pairings that go into a pool, and then it's just drag and drop, right? And I think that's the way the future is going. So I really don't believe that everyone needs a separate token. I think that's very 2016 myself.
Yeah, I think just actually on that point is what I kind of like to say about the metaverse, because take it to the real world, right? So if we go back in the ages when there was no aeroplanes, where you couldn't go from one country to the next, what would we do? We would form the communities within our geographical areas, right? And so we would identify with our community, with the weather, the food, and we would have a flag, right? We would have land and we would have a flag that recognizes us, right? And at that time, there was no interoperability between this land and that land. We had one currency, they had one currency. So this is how I feel about what's happening is we're just going back in time. And in fact, this is from an NFT artist perspective, this is what I love about a Bored Ape or a Silly Unicorn or a Rock or my collection, for example, where what I'm doing or what we're doing is we're forming our communities. And the new flags are the new pictures of the Bored Apes. The new communities are the communities on Discord and Twitter, and it doesn't matter where you are. And then the new lands are in the metaverses. And so maybe one Bored Ape might go there, maybe one community will go there. And yes, we haven't figured out how to fly between our different lands. And ironically, we are in the Bitcoin space, which is all about decentralization, but we're living in a centralized metaverse world, and eventually we'll move to a decentralized metaverse world where we'll have the Bitcoin for the metaverse. I don't know, that's just my weird take on it.
I'm going to ask you guys to keep to 1 minute each just for timing. Okay.
It's funny that talking about metaverse, one world, but we live in one world, and we have a lot of community for doing a lot of projects, and we really trying to figure out bridges between chains, how to swap, etc. And I think it will be coming very, very soon, and I hope in this year already a lot of bridges and DeFi. The next bridges will be for NFTs, just like pictures. The next one will be NFTs like in-game items, etc., and for any other NFTs.
Just kind of keeping to that theme of interoperability, I've actually met a couple of people already, just even at this event and over the last week since I've been in Dubai, who've all been like kind of really focused on that interoperability side of things. And I think like the next, let's call him 100 millionaire, is going to be that guy who just nails that one software and really like brings those, you know, those metaverses together in a way through, I don't know, like an SDK of sorts, or even just like, as you were sort of touching on before with the coins, like bringing all the coins together in one particular way that's perhaps different from multi-chain or an upgrade from that. I think that's where it sort of needs to go. I agree.
So to answer the first part of your question, I think that every game currently, every play-to-earn game is an economical experiment right now. So each game has a different token and creates a different economy around this, and we're sort of in the process of figuring out what different economical models are actually going to provide some sort of stable business models for the games, and only until we figure it out, you know, it's very difficult. It's going to be very difficult to condense and, you know, like use a single currency across different games. But in order to actually figure this out, we need a lot of data. So the sort of all the data about what economical models and what features correlate with more stable economies is currently sort of closed within the loops of single game developers. And I think we're going to need a lot of collaboration and data sharing and working across unified frameworks to be able to sort of share this data and find a world that is gonna be, you know, properly interoperable with stable economies and you know, to prevent some bad players there.
So yeah, that's what I was thinking, is like we all roll in together, have a stable coin, provide a liquidity pool, and create pairs that go on different exchanges depending on geographic reach and community. Anyway, thank you very much. Talking about gaming in the metaverse and how to make it work for everybody.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Thank you.